Okay, welcome. This Samsung part numbering training number 7. You'll be we're on the 21st of March. Got one more after this, so we're going to go and get started. The training are basically one, to understand the difference between family names, order codes, and part numbers. Second, understand the binning and the binning types that we have, and simply review our part number decoders. So we'll go ahead and get started. So, family codes. The codes for Samsung are based on type, style, date, and origin number. As you see, like our LM302B, our LH351B, LC040D, and P562C. Some numbers that actually have meaning. They're not just made up. So, if you're here, letter in the 302B, the L would be either lighting, an A to the T would be TV. Center is the power style, so it could be high power, mid power, low power, C, or top, which would be view or top view. The next digits, the package size. So the 3 would be our 3030 package. 56 would be our 30. The last digit in the number is the actual number of die, and the is a red letter. So we'll get an idea of what type the package is, of what it is. But no, this is not an order code. You don't order LM302B. Completely different order code for that. These codes. So next slide. A little different for modules. But the first digits, or the first word in the family for like L is linear troffer, could be a module, or lens attached module, or spotlight engine, or ACOM. Letter typically is a series or shape of that particular module. So it's S series, F series, square, rectangle. The size of, if it's like a linear board, it's the size of the linear board. If it's the or finger board, the actual number of LEDs on there, so it'd be like a LAM32 or LAM30. Kind of the number of power connections. In some cases, that might actually be a different version of that board on maybe it's incoming power or something. And then finally, the last is the rev. For our modules versus our packages. So order is actually how the customer places their order. C is to describe actually a group of acceptable part numbers from color, voltage, or flux bin. So an example I have here, I pulled this part number right off the data sheet, and that's the best place to find where your order codes. And basically this part number is for a 561B plus in some Kelvin quarter S4 flux rank. And you notice the whole the port is a 0 after the U, and the 0 means any voltage bin. And basically how all our packages are ordered, because we allow binning based on voltage. The B is CCT color, and means I want quarter bin. So what bin means is I'm going to accept 4 bins, all except of D6, of D, of DA, or B. Means center 4 out of the matrix. The last, the flux rank, and I have you. So you actually only 4 in this family right now, and so that's all we can do based on yield. A lot early on in the part numbers, when we first bring out a part, our yield a little bit wider on the voltages, so it'll be an S0, and you have a little bit wider voltage. Then the binning. So different types of binning, not packages, allow each type of binning. Important to look at the data sheet to see what binning is available for which package you're looking for. This is basically a subset of the full yield. Have it in the upper right-hand corner, the yield. This is actually the data from January on 61B plus at 4,000 Kelvin. And you can actually see that if I order full bin, I get any of those 16 ranks. If I order half bin, I would get the center 8. And if I order bin, I get the final center 4. So you're actually able to select how tight you are as far as what your color variance is allowed in the product. The yield data that we yield parts outside of quarter bin and outside of half bin. So when a customer orders half or quarter, we actually produce extra parts. And produce those extra parts, we have costs. So we have to actually produce more parts to meet their order requirements. So there's slight premium for half and quarter. For some kitting, under the kitting, we have a new kitting matrix here in the bottom right-hand corner, where we would combine W's with Z's, Y's with X's, and so make sure that you kind of end up in that center 5 atom area. If you get these, you would get both these come prepared, and tools will be matched so they work together, and twice the regular quantity of reels. We take the 4 bins and then kit that again. So we would match A7, and 6 to B. The 630 plus now, we actually offer 3 max binning. So an ellipse centered in the actual center there, and all our coordinates would match inside of that ellipse. And people who would like to save a little more cost, we also offer outer binning now as an option. So not every will be offered in all bin options. It's based upon yield and the parts we make. So check the data sheet or check with your sales manager from Samsung to find out exactly which binning is available in the package that the customer is looking for. Explains binning. Now, there are some limits on the binning. And like I said here, we offer any type of voltage binning. Really don't need it for most part. Most of our high production parts are yielding 1 bin anyway, or only very few outside of that. So we can give you the yield data to let the customer know which voltage rank they'll be receiving. I also don't offer single flux binning based on production. So we do this. A single flux binning is not available. Some flux binning is available, but we actually change that based upon, in the early days of production of a part, it's fairly new, wider flux range, so it'll be an S0 or something like that, so you'll get an S2 or S3. But as you get higher production yield, we can net down and start offering like an S3 only or S4 just check with us and we'll let you know. What we offer is no single color bin. So no bins are available. It's really not necessary. A lot of customers think they're buying single from the competition. The competitors will tell them that they're getting single bin, but a bin standard unit of measure. Their single bin sells almost all of our bins. So he pulled up 3 sheets there. So here's Nichia 757, and you can see that their SWO is really all 16 of our bins. It's the full ANSI. So if they order the C1, they get some parts outside ANSI. If they order C2, they get parts outside ANSI. But if customers are told, I'm ordering single bin, but they're ordering the whole ANSI bin. Well, here's Semi's 5630, and you can see they only offer 6 bins inside the ANSI standard. For 16 now inside the 5000K. What that is, we're able to get more precise color, so you can better job of color matching and mixing, and so colors have a lot tighter results on their product. So let's refer to the data sheet for the actual binning options and codes. We get the part numbers. So family code, and after the part number code, or the code, we add on to the actual part numbers. And these are the part numbers that the customers will actually be receiving. And so part describes a specific part, including the device color, voltage, and flux bin. So you can first part of the part numbering is actually the full LED description, and we'll go into that in a second. The last 6 digits are the keys as to finding out exactly what LED you received. So they ordered whole bin, but which bin they get. And remember, the yield data, we don't always equal out on all the various colors. So they got a WA for voltage, and they got a E6 for the color bin, 2 rank. So what's thing is that we do label every reel, and it's right off the data sheet. You can see where the actual order code is located on the front part of the label structure, and the last 6 digits are reprinted to show what the actual color and flux rank are. You can see actually put in bold here as well. So A1, R1, S4 was what they actually received. So part number these here, and I'm going to go through these in full detail here. We will make available when we send out the presentation. And the idea is to take this and actually, photocopy of it and just shrink it down and put it inside your or in your notebook, and it'll be a quick and dirty reference as far as what the LEDs are actually going to get, and really based upon the order code that they're going to be put here. So this is key, and you see that thing is broken down for here. This is middle power, and so sun package, middle power. Change to the next slide. The high powers. So the codes and what actually each digit represents changes slightly from high power as C, DOB slide, and you see that some of it's changed because the product is somewhat different, so we have to be able to describe it slightly different. Chip scale. So the actual chip scale, D, you can see it's a Samsung chip scale, DH. Or another chip scale product. And like, we'll be submitting all these out to you when we publish the presentation. So this would be a short one. I hope this helped clarify you guys on the product, what the different codes are. And so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send us a message, and be happy to answer them. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next week.